Hello friends, welcome to Market Analyzers. Today Nifty fell by 19 points and closed at 19,731, whereas Bank Nifty fell by 62 points and closed at 44,225. Today there was not much activity in Nifty. It just stayed around 19,720 mark, opening and closing, then around 19,720 mark. Today's intraday high was 19,780. If you look at Nifty chart in daily time frame, Nifty has formed a doji candle which indicates indecision in the markets. Today broader markets closed in positive note. Small cap unread closed with 0.37% gains. Even mid-cap indices also closed on a positive side. There are few negative and positive global updates to speak. Before that, I want to explain Nifty levels to watch. Only above 19,820 one-day closing. I am expecting Nifty to move further upside. Big resistance is 19,820. Even if you look at option chain weekly expiry contracts, the highest call rating is at 19,800 mark. There are 1.1 lakh 7 writings. Even close to 50,000 contracts were written today. Below that level, 19,720 and the 19,620 as supports. If we talk about global data, first let's talk about positive data and then move on to negative data. On Friday, US bond yields corrected by 9 basis points and few Federal Reserve Board members are expecting no interest rate hike in the next meet, and the chances of rate hike by market participants is just 30% now. So majority of people are thinking no rate hike will happen in next meet, and few big US banks also posted better than expected results. So all these are positive data points. If we talk about negative points, gold price increased by 3.2% on Friday. In entire 2023, gold has never rallied by 3.2% in a single trading session. Rising gold price is negative for equity markets because all this gold dollar index are all safe assets. There won't be much risk in those assets. So whenever there is uncertainty like any geopolitical uncertainty or global economic slowdown, the investors will pull their money out of equity markets and they will invest that amount in these safe assets. If you remember, when markets fell due to COVID, the gold prices were hitting all-time highs. The logic is same. Investors were feared about equity markets fall. So first negative point is gold price rally. The second point is crude oil. It is trading about $90 per barrel mark and has rallied more than 5.4% on Friday alone. I have in previous videos also explained why crude oil prices are increasing. It is due to uncertainty between Israel and Gaza, not because these two nations are fighting. Will it have any spillover effect on Middle Eastern countries like Iran, or will there be any supply chain disruptions or the worries in the market? Indian rupee is very close to all-time low levels against US dollar. You can look at INR USD chart. For a very long time it was trading around 82.9 to 81.7 level. Now it has broken above 82.9 resistance level, is also negative in short term. In long term it won't have any impact. In 2010 USD INR was trading at 46 rupees. Now in 2023 it is at 83 rupees, whereas Nifty in the same time in 2010 was trading at 5,200. Now it is close to 20,000 mark. Indian rupee has become weaker against US dollar by 1.8 times, whereas in the same time Nifty has rallied by 3.8 times in that same period, from 5,200 to 20,000. So it is just a short term negative sentiment, and FIs are selling in every segment, be it cash, futures, options. They are net sellers in all these segments. These are all major negative points. But if you look at Nifty, the price action is in fact very stable. The markets are not falling downside in a huge way. Even today with all these negative points, Nifty fell only by just 19 points. If you look at small cap, mid cap indices, they even closed on a positive note. The first important signal is price action. Until price action says it is weak, there is nothing to worry. But 19,820 level above closing indicates even further strength in Nifty. If we talk about option chain range, 19,200 to 19,900, I think from past 20 to 25 days we are carrying this range, and Nifty is also in this range. Today there is an important event. HDFC Bank results, which had to be updated on Sunday, has been postponed to Monday. By the time I had started recording this video, the results were not updated, so I'll try to cover the results in tomorrow's video. Now let's talk about important stocks news updates. First let's begin with Skipper Limited. They are market leader in manufacture of transmission and distribution structures and distribution poles. You can look at their products on screen. 74% of their revenue comes from transmission and distribution poles. Now Skipper Limited today updated to exchanges that they have won orders worth 468 crores in transmission and distribution segment from Power Grid Corporation. They have received orders worth 1,800 crores in this year alone. If we compare it with their market cap is 2,410 crores. Their orders received in this year alone is 1,800 crores. So after this update, the share price rallied by 3.5%. Now let's talk about Venus Remedies. The company gets marketing approval approval for 6 chemotherapy drugs from Philippines. Chemotherapy drugs are used in treatment of cancer. According to reports, the market size of cancer drug in Philippines was valued at 2,000 crores in 2020, and the market size of the drug is expected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 8.7% in the coming years. Now let's talk about MART IPO. Today the subscriptions for the IPO is open. It closes by 18th October, Wednesday. You can look at their IPO details on screen. The price of the IPO is placed at 86 rupees. Lot size is 1,600. So it means to apply for this IPO, you need 1,30,000 rupees. Promoters holding before the issue was at 78.01%. It will be reduced to 57.4% post the issue. You can look at their metrics on screen. Their market cap is 36 crores. It is a very small company. The IPO is fully subscribed on the opening day itself. They are raising 9.56 crores through the IPO, which will be used for branding, marketing and app development. MART is an online platform which offers a broad range of beauty products and wellness products for skincare, hair and body. Now let's talk about Delta Corp. Earlier, Delta Corp and its subsidiaries had received a tax notice of 16,821 crores from now. Again on Saturday, the company has officially updated that its subsidiary has notified a tax liability of 6,300 crores from GST intelligence. If we combine both these tax liabilities, earlier they have received tax notice of 16,821 crores and now new tax liability is 6,300 crores. If we combine both, it comes around 20,121 crores. If we compare this with entire Delta Corp's market value, which is 3,400 crores, so the tax notice is 6 times higher than the entire company's worth. After these updates, Delta Corp share price touched new 52-week low and was trading with 9% cuts today. SIAM, Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, has published India's passenger vehicle sales, which came at 10.74 lakh units. It is highest ever in a quarter. The previous best in a quarter was to 10.26 lakh units. The analysts are expecting sales to rise even upside in this festive season. Now let's talk about important results. First, let's begin with DMart. Their revenue increased by 19% to 12,624 crores and their operating profit margins and net profit came below market expectations. If we talk about positives in their results, their revenue growth was strong, came above market consensus. The reasons for the revenue growth is new stores addition, good growth in same store sales growth. It means how much growth they are generating from their existing DMart stores. It came at 8.6%. If we talk about negatives, their margins have dropped to 8%. DMart has very good margins in apparel segment. When we go into DMart stores, we see dresses. That's where they get very good margins. This segment is not performing well for DMart from last 2 to 3 quarters. The new stores additions is also not very strong. There are only 9 new stores added in Q2. The main metric that market will always be tracking in DMart is how these high margin segments are performing. So they were not up to the mark in this quarter. Now let's talk about Federal Bank results. The net interest income grew by 16.7% to 2,056 crores. NIM, net interest income, means revenue generated by the bank on interest bearing assets minus interest expenses. For example, I have deposited 1,000 rupees in a bank and they will pay me 10% interest, which means 100 rupees. It comes under interest expenses. Now the bank issues that 1,000 rupees to someone else like a big corporation or to some individual as a loan at, let's say, 20%. So the bank receives 200 rupees. Now 200 bank receives and they will pay 100 to the depositor as interest. So NIM for the bank is 100 rupees. 200 minus 100. Total deposits are at 2.23 lakh crores. It has increased by 23.1% on year-on-year basis. Advances grew by 19.5% to 1.93 lakh crores. GNPA, gross non-performing assets, improved to 2.26% from 2.38%. Gross non-performing assets means assets which have been generated interest from last 3 months. So if it is reducing, means it is positive for banks. The net non-performing assets also improves to 0.64% from 0.69%. If we combine their overall results, they are in line with market expectations. But some profit booking was seen today in share price.